What's up? It's your boy Rob, CEO of BGG, and I am back at it with my brothers doing our first ever The Culture series right here in St. Louis on the South Side, baby.
Yes, sir.
And as you know, as we do, it's only family, VIP only experiences. The Lou conversation is going to be tailored for artists, entrepreneurs, and people in the city and our community around entrepreneurships, artists, and giving them the voice to be able to talk about what they're doing, a platform to kind of express themselves around identity, self-confidence. And I'm honored to be able to be a part of this first one with nobody specialer than my boy.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes,
The mayor.
Yes, sir.
J Bird, artist, producer. You feel me? Gamer.
Yes, sir.
Community member, community advocate,
sir.
youth
Yes, sir.
advocate.
Yes,
You
sir.
feel me? Right here in the city, man. Bird, what's good, man?
Man.
Yes, sir.
What's good,
You already
man?
know, man.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do the bird. We gotta do bird.
Ooh. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like as we do like this, we talk all the time, you know. So this is gonna be just a casual dialogue between two brothers that's doing amazing things in the city.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to peel back a little bit of the layers so you know people can kind of get to know, you know, the man behind the artist as well as the man in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, without further ado, kind of tell you know if you got a little intro, you want to tell the camera, go ahead.
Well, I'm just honored to be here. I'm honored to be starting this. Honored to, I'm excited for this conversation, just to, like you said, peel back the layers of how it is being an artist and peeling back, the person. But, I'm just honored to be here. Honored, man.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you, for making the time to do this too. I know life is lifing. It's the beginning of 2025. We got to start it at the right speed. We got to start it with the right message, the right intention.
Yeah.
I think overall being intentional about, how you move forward is very much, it's very much important when it comes to finding what it is that what's driving you, when you move with intention. So.
Yep.
And let's kind of expand on that. Like, what is it? Intention. Being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there things that you want to kind of be more intentional about this year? You got any New Year's resolutions?
We've been doing music for so long, and
Yeah.
dropping the music, making strategies to market it, travel around. It's been such a chase, and I feel like last year I just kind of took time to live life pretty much because before that it was just music 24/7,
Right.
365, and that's all it was. But I feel like from a life standpoint, some started to lack. So 2024, I had the chance to actually, get a place and actually just kind of live life a little bit and get some new experiences.
Right.
So now with this year coming in, I feel like I took last year to live that life, and this year my New Year's resolution is actually just to give back, what we've been doing.
So it sounds like you saying like that year. It took you that year to kind of go through that journey to understand more of your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, especially. Yeah, definitely. Just living life, man. Living life, getting new experiences. Actually being out on my own for the first time and actually letting life and knowing what it is to hold something down and actually, just getting those experiences. So now I feel like just bringing that experience in, it brings another level of like steadiness to the mind while I navigate like the music, because
For
it's
sure.
all over, but your mind can be all over when you're doing it, but actually getting those experiences and approaching the music now, I kind of got more of a level head at how I want to handle it.
For sure.
And actually,
For sure.
keep an even mind through it all.
What's cool about it is when you're going through life, we don't know what we are preparing ourselves to experience. And I know like when you started making music in 2019,
2019,
right? It was kind of like a new experience, but it was something that you jumped straight into,
yeah.
having to go through the trials and tribulations only to get to a point in your career where it felt like you had to take that year to rebuild. But the whole aspect around that sentiment is, it sounds like it takes a lot of ego in a sense to go through the things that you went through and let your ego be built, but also let your ego have to look into the mirror to accept the changes accept the feedback, the criticism, I'm sure that comes with being an artist. So
Yeah.
like, I guess my question would be like, how do you think ego plays a role in your creative process?
Man, I believe ego is the main thing. Like, you know, when you're an artist, you putting your ego pretty much out on the line. You put it out on the line because when you make music, or it can be anything, whether you start a business like with you got your foundation. Once you put your all into something and you put your life into it, and you know, you create this music or you start this business or these businesses based off your life experiences, and you take all that and pour your all into it. So only for in an artist standpoint, when you put out your music, the it's pretty much the success of it, how it's gauged is off of if people like it or not, if they gonna stream it or not, if they gonna buy the music or not, watch the videos and share and stuff like that.
For sure.
And for you to actually put your life into this work and put it out there for the world to judge it, I feel like you putting your ego out on the line, and it can go up or down. So if people like, if you put your work out and people love it, it can boost your ego. But if you put your all into the music and somebody say, nah, this ain't it, your ego can take a hit. It can take a major hit, and
it can. And one thing about ego is we don't know how to acknowledge it. It's like, let's say Jay Bird was looking at you across, if you're sitting across from Jay Bird, and he tells you, I don't like this. I don't like how people making me feel. That part of identifying your ego, it gives you a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
So do you sometimes feel like your ego fuels your passion, or does it hold you back?
Both.
How so?
It does both. And I got an example. I remember I made, well, for the people who don't know, I made a song called Life or Death.
Yeah.
And in Life or Death, I feel like I put my just soul into that. Like, that was me speaking from the heart, from the soul. I couldn't be any more realer than I could be in that song. And I put it on this website. It was like a live,
Right.
It was a live where people, they heard the song and they could put the fire emoji or the trash emoji. And at this point, I'm biased anyway, so like anything I put out, I just like, yeah, this it.
And I know the platform because you put other songs on there. It was
exactly,
going up.
and it was going up.
Yeah.
So at this point, I tried Life or Death on there, and when I put it on there, man, I seen all the trash cans. They stopped the song, man. They took it off.
They cut it off.
They cut it off. They had the record scratch. But like, for me to put that song, and like I said, I put my soul into that, and my heart and all my experiences into that, and for people to just kind of throw it out there like it's trash, and just turn it off, my ego took a hit from that. And that's on like the negative side, your ego can take a hit once you put your all into something like that, and people, not liking it like that. But in a positive note, say, what's the plan? When we put out What's the Plan, and seeing it do millions of streams, and being able to travel, being able to meet all these different famous people and getting these rooms off of that song, that can be an ego booster, because now you kind of got a sense of like, man, I feel like, I'm him.
Yeah,
I'm him, because all these people telling me I'm him, all these people telling me they like the song, so it boosts up your ego. But I think as far as to the creative aspect of it, getting back into it, you can't get too high or too low off of it, because you just got to stay even keel with it, and that's how you can continue to be able to do the music and not be affected on the words of people if they like it or not.
No, I definitely get that, and I feel like when it comes to acknowledging your ego and accepting that it could take a hit, but it's also, you have to nurture that ego. You feel me? You got to nurture that confidence. You got to nurture your safe space, because ego is just a reaction based off of something that's happening to you in real time. You just may not realize that your ego could be coming out. And I do think for artists, or hell, anybody that's an entrepreneur, when you're doing something that is of service of others, or it depends on like if other people are receptive to it, or if they can use it, or if they can, say like, hey, I really stand by this.
Yeah.
If you can't accept the fact that it is predicated off of them, then you're going to be in a battle with yourself forever. You feel me?
Yeah,
So I definitely understand that. And I do think that gives a lot of clarity around it. But I do want to ask you more so reflecting on your journey. When did you first started to like question, in a sense, like, what does success mean to you? And what sparked that realization in your life around the time?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like I started getting the realization of it, or just kind of, I've been asking myself that question honestly last year.
Yeah.
Because before last year, it was just a blur.
Yeah.
We were just chasing it, and success back then was just like getting streams and getting numbers,
Yeah.
watching the monthly listeners go up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was success for me back then. But now, just kind of being removed out of it, because numbers, I seen numbers go up, I seen numbers go down, I seen it go back up, I seen it go down. So that's a forever fleeting thing. So you can't base your success off what the numbers was. So I was just kind of asking myself, what was success like this whole year, pretty much, because I was in my apartment and I'm just kind of sitting there, and a lot of times I have down times where it's just me in there, so I got times to like reflect and self-reflect and think about what I want to do, and what is success and what does it look like for me in the music business. But
it sounds like you're having moments of reflection.
yeah, it's definitely moments of reflection, and I feel like that question, that's a forever journey.
Yeah.
If you saying like, what is success or what it look like, because success can always change, because you can hit those goals of what you thought success was, then you like, all right, I got new goals, so what will be successful? But for me now, I love to do music. I have a passion to do music. I have a passion of getting better at doing music and production. And it's a forever chase of always, getting better. So I feel like for me to keep that success at the core of the passion, I feel like that's what will keep me doing it. Because if I base the success off the people can come, the people can go.
But I think you answering your question though, because I think when you saying the art of doing what you love, sometimes it's simple.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to like identifying success, man, it's fucked up out here. You know, some people can't do that. Some people can't make music. Some people can't be in a room with people that love them. You feel me?
Yeah.
I think the art of success has to be something so small within you, but it's a bigger course of action.
Yeah.
So like, in my opinion, for me, success is to do something that I'm passionate about, that I can stand on and say is mine. The rug has been pulled under me for years, under jobs that I've had, situations that I've been in, and I always wanted to get myself out of that situation.
Yeah.
To stand on it. But that's the hard part. It's a road less traveled, and it's gonna come with more things in my life that's gonna affect my ego, my confidence, my ability to be able to put myself out there. But success, you answer your question in the same sense of
it's kinda,
doing what you love.
And it's kind of crazy just talking about it. It's like, it peels back the layers, but it kind of like, opens up my mind to like, damn, what is success? So that's kind of crazy. But I do got a like question for you too though, because I do want to ask you this too.
Yeah, bet.
Just while we
For
talking.
sure.
Man, I love these conversations. And if you want something that looks good like this, hit me up at Boyd Media, STL.com, or Boyd Media STL on all social media platforms. I love what I do, and I do what I love. And if you want something that looks good, make sure you hit me up.
As a black man and an artist in St. Louis, how do you cultivate a sense of confidence in the industry that often sets itself beyond what it really means for us?
Yeah.
How do you cultivate that in that industry?
I believe in the music industry, your confidence got to be borderline delusion. And what I mean by that is kind of like, it's so many people that make music. It's oversaturated for real. Like, You go around the corner, he be like, yeah, I rap. My cousin rap. My auntie rap. My uncle rap. It's so saturated.
Yeah.
But like, being that there's so many people in there, you could kind of be like, damn, man, everybody, doing this one thing, you know what I'm saying? Everybody doing this. But to keep the confidence in it, you gotta have that like within where it's like, say I make a beat and I make the song, automatically you just gotta believe in the work that you're putting in. And you gotta know before anybody, once you make this song, you like, ain't nobody fucking with this.
Yeah.
And tell yourself that and believe in it, because that, some people can call it delusion, but that sense of confidence, it will keep you pushing. And no matter what somebody say, good or bad, nobody ain't fucking with your shit.
Right.
So
no, you right.
And I think it's a sense of delusion to keep that confidence, especially in an oversaturated market.
Okay, I love it. In your opinion, how do the societal expectations placed on black men influence the way that you view your own ego?
That's deep. That's deep. Can you ask that one more time? It's deep.
In your opinion, how does the societal expectations placed on black men influence the way you view your ego and success?
Man, when you really look at it, and of course it's systemic, but when you look at it, as a black man, all we're looked at honestly, not, well, I'm gonna keep it real.
Keep it real.
All we're looked at for real are entertainers, rappers, basketball players, football players. We're doing something to entertain. And I feel like that expectations are put on black men because, one, that's all we see growing up. I think about, what I see growing up, and of course, we had pops. So I'm glad we had a good role model to actually do different stuff that's not just like entertain, like he actually doing that.
Right.
But
gave us great guidance
exactly.
around like what our example to see another black man do things.
Exactly. But for some people, they didn't have their fathers in their life, or they didn't have, they didn't have that role model. So all they could look at was the rappers. All they could look at was sports players and stuff, because shit, they had all the money, they had the chains, they had the girls, and I feel like that placed the expectation that this is what I got to do as a black man, which if you don't do it, your ego can take a hit. If, growing up, they used to say, you smart in school, they be like, this lame ass nigga, smart as hell. But like, I feel like that's just the society placing a standard on what a black man should be and what he should do.
Right.
And
I'm with you. And I feel like we are looked at as somebody to entertain, somebody to, be in a system, somebody to go to jail. We're not victimized. We're heavily targeted and we're attacked media-wise, society-wise, economic-wise.
Yeah.
I say that I feel like as a culture we are diagnosed with something that's uncurable. And I think that's the ability to be subservient to whites, also to be limited to what we really feel like our potential is. But deep down, I do feel like we as black people are chosen. I do feel like the ability to weaponize our culture to get into rooms and spaces is something that people don't understand how to do yet. But I do feel like we're at a point of time where the consciousness is taking over to the point of we are going to do something that's going to spark more minds, change more ways we do things. And just like this conversation that we're having is to spark more minds around their consciousness, their ego, their confidence, to be able to stand on things that they believe and are passionate about.
And it's kind of crazy, like, going back to the question, because now I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Because it's like, it's opened up my mind. We just talking. And it's like, I can't call the pot can't call the kettle black, because, I'm saying, like, they place these standards on black men in society being these entertainers. Hell, I'm entertaining.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, it's kind of crazy. And like you said, ego, if I wasn't considered a successful entertainer, that's ego hit as a black man, because, you know, this was the standard for black men in society to be entertainers.
Yeah, but it's also
But it's kind of crazy.
And,
or at least
and
that's
also
what it was put on us.
Exactly. But it's also to, you know, re-identify what it is to be an entertainer, but you're also in the community.
Exactly.
And doing other things is not selling poison to us as a culture.
Yeah.
So I salute you for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we're finna getting close to wrapping up. So my last question would be, looking ahead, how do you plan to further explore your identity and confidence as a man and artist? And then what goals do you have that align with your evolving view of success?
Say that one more time. Because I say that one
So
more time.
I'll make it smaller for you.
No, you can read it how you read it.
How do you plan to further explore your identity and confidence as an artist? And then what goals have you set that will align with your evolving view of ego and success?
For the first part of the question, it's just how do I explore my confidence going forward?
Yeah, how do you plan to further explore your identity and confidence as an artist?
New experiences and artistry, doing new stuff. Because at one point I feel like I had a formula and that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But until I actually found something new and realized I ain't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was a lot more to know.
Yeah.
So, and you know, the confidence could take a hit actually approaching like new stuff like that, because you know you don't really know it, so it's kind of uncomfortable, unfamiliar territory. But to keep exploring that identity and confidence is just being more accepting of doing those new things.
Yeah.
And you know, getting those new experiences. And I feel like when you take on those new experiences, you know, it just like another badge to the shirt.
For sure.
And you know, once you get your badge up, and there's always going to be more new stuff to do and more new stuff to learn, but being accepting of that and actually diving into those new ventures and new things like that, I think that boosts up the identity, and you just gain more identity, more confidence with that.
No, that's facts.
And my goals to actually achieve it, right? That's the second. Yeah.
What goals you set?
Yeah, the goals are set.
Or if you have, some people might not have yet. I think that's the part of understanding. Like, I might need to set goals so that I can understand how to be able to build my confidence and ego as an artist. Mm-hmm. So that's what we start with. Yeah, we start with those goals.
I mean, look what we doing now, because this something new. Like, you know, I don't really sit down and, you know, just chop it up.
And
like
they don't expect the interview with the rapper to be introspective, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's more so us breaking the narrative of what they set the expectation for us.
Yeah.
So I think that overall, I'm going to wrap. And I think overall that's what it's supposed to be about. Putting your feet into new territory, putting your mind into new territory, putting your art into new territories, but also keeping that ego in check as you do it. Surrounding yourself by people that love you, encourage you, you know what I'm saying? But also being that source where you can be receptive to feedback and criticism from the people that you love. From that point of view, you can be a better man and artist. So, man, listen, I'm honored to be able to talk with my boy, my brother Bird. You
brothers.
Brothers.
Real brothers, man.
Real brothers, you feel
sir.
me? And I'm brothers with every other black man that's walking the earth as well, but this blood right here.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate y'all, man. This is the first episode of The Culture. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Rob, BGG CEO. Nothing but bruh got game, you feel me? Got more game. CEO boss like I'm 50, you feel me? And we're gonna see y'all at the next one. Salute.
Salute. 2 hands.